3 months ago, I made a video about doing accounting with Claude. 18,000 of you watched it, and in the comments, the same question kept actually coming back over and over again. Do I have to install VS Code for this? And do I have to touch a terminal? Because that is where most accountants actually stop. Not at the AI part, at the developer tooling in front of it. So today, no terminal, no code editor, nothing that looks like programming. I'm going to hand Claude Cowork a real month of accounting work and just watch what it does. And here is the setup. I have a small coffee roastery, 6 months of general ledgers, sales with VAT, EU purchases under reverse charge, payroll, bank loan, depreciation, all the boring stuff that actually shows up in a real set of books. And I've done something specific. In the July ledger, I planted 3 errors. Real ones, the kind you have all posted at the same point and not noticed. I'm not going to tell Claude they exist. I'm going to hand in the file and see if it can find them. 3 demos, close the months, hunt the errors, and then process a folder of invoices with no data entry at all. If you work with books for a living, stay till the end. The 3rd demo actually really surprised me. Right, so in order to use Cowork on your computer, you have to download Claude for Windows. So you click download, you will download and install. It's pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to show how it works. But generally, what you're going to get, you will get just regular web chat version just on desktop. And there is a little difference in this one, and I will explain it later in the video. So now we're going to be using Cowork, and I'll show you why it's actually different between using chat and why it's different to use it on the desktop version. And one of the main reasons is that as you select the Cowork, you can see that this section actually pops up. It will allow you to select a specific folder on your computer, so you don't need to upload any actually files. It will work straight on your computer. So let's actually go and select a specific folder. So I've selected a specific folder, and let me actually show you what there is in this folder. So in this folder, we've got a couple of files, and the first one is general ledger from the January to June. And as you can see there, we get a bunch of transactions for the company, basically a bunch of accounts. You can see it by the account number, and here we got different documents that are being registered in our general ledger, and we have this for like 6 months. Okay, so then what we got is basically the July version, and then we got a bunch of invoices for the last month. So the first task that we're going to ask our AI to do is basically to take this specific file and actually out of the general ledger that we got, ask it to make me a profit and loss statement and balance sheet. So let's just click enter. So in this case, again, we don't need to actually upload any files. We just give it access to a specific folder, and it could be a broader folder that will have many files, for example, all your accounting files, and it will find that file in this directory, which is really nice. So here I'm actually asking to go to this file, and it is a 6 months general ledger. Basically build me a profit and loss and balance sheet month by month from January to June as the new Excel file. So as you can see now in the folder, we've got a couple of Excel files, but at the end we should have an additional file that will build me the profit and loss statement and balance sheet with formulas, not hard-coded numbers, so I can trace every figure back to the ledger. So then at a check row, providing the balance sheet balances tell me if anything looks there wrong. So now it will take its time, probably like 5 minutes or so, and will build this for me. So let's wait until it finishes and see what is the result. All right, so Claude is actually asking us a question. The ledger contains no opening balances as of January 2026, no share capital, retained earnings, equipment costs, blah, blah, blah. So otherwise, we'll show you a negative cash, negative loan balance. That's actually true. So let me say strictly ledger only, and we don't have the opening balances. How much detail in the profit and loss, account level with subtotals. Let's actually do this one. So from time to time, it may ask you actually a couple questions, so you need to answer. So make sure you're still not far from the computer. You can also set up your phone so that some of these questions actually coming to your phone as a notification, and you can confirm it from there. That's what actually happened to me. And also one of the important things here, I would suggest to just place automatically approve. So Claude will actually run on its own, and it will approve some of the actions that are not critical. So if it will ask you to erase something or do some important things that might affect your computer, it will actually ask you for approval. Otherwise, we'll just keep working on the background. And in most cases, that's actually fine. So I suggest put it on now to make sure you actually connect this to your phone, because that would just make it easier. Otherwise, if you're at the computer, you will see kind of a pop-up or a yellow icon right in here. So it means that you have a notification, you have to answer. So once you answer, again, we'll keep waiting until it finishes. All right, as you can see, Claude has created a file in the folder, and you can see also right in here what kind of statements it has created. So let's take a look. We've got 6 months financial statements. Let's see if those are correct. Okay, looking nice already. So we've got it by account number, which I love, to be honest. We got the revenue split, which is great, and it calculates the total. But also they use the summing function, and we've got all the months here. and we'll just sum up it from different months. Comes from January, comes from February. This is great. I like it. So we got the same for the wages, we got depreciation, finance cost, and we got the net result. Wow, I love it. It's perfect the way it should look. It even checks if it kind of the same on the trial balance. I love it. Looking good. So let's take a look at the balance sheet. So the balance sheet is a little bit more simplistic. We didn't have plenty of accounts for this company. Again, this is the fake company, but it contains the data as it actually looks in the real life. So that's why it's kind of a legit example to show. So here we've got the non-current assets, current assets, the total assets. So basically these totals should match, and indeed they match. We've got actually a couple checks here. It shows its balance, which is amazing. I mean, we've got negative liabilities and the assets, which is not a realistic case to be honest, but this is because we didn't have any opening accounts. So otherwise we'll probably have some share capital, maybe some cash or something. In fact, there should be some additional numbers for this company, but other than that, it's great. So we even have kind of checks here. So I'm not sure what it's actually doing here, but it might worth actually take a look. And there are a couple of the findings. And look at this. I love this part. So it says there's no opening balances. Okay, that was critical. No VAT has ever been paid to the VIT. So VIT is the basically local state revenue service. And it actually exactly says that we didn't pay any taxes. So this kind of is a very important thing. So I might not even actually think about, when you look at these statements, you're kind of thinking about, okay, so what are the profits? What are the, what is the balance sheet? You don't even think about the taxes at this point until State Revenue Service reaches out and say, hey, where's the money? Then we got a couple of other things that it points out, and I really love those actually findings. I'm not going to go through all of them, but like generally you do want to pay attention to these ones, because sometimes the things that your accountant does, you never check it, right? You don't even know if it's right or wrong. Or if you're an accounting company that provides accounting service to other companies, you may have many employees working for you. You can't really control all of them. That's such a simple thing. Just give it a general ledger and ask it if everything is fine. If your accountants have actually made those registrations correct, this will actually give you a ton of insights. And I love how it actually structured. And let me answer the question I know you are thinking about. I already use ChatGPT. I already use Claude in the browser. Why do I need something new? Well, here's the honest difference. Regular chat is a conversation. You ask, it answers. You upload a file, you get text back. You copy that text somewhere, and next month you do the whole dance again. You're steering every single step, which is fine for a question. Cowork is not a conversation, it's a delegation. You describe the job once and it goes and does it. And there are 3 practical things that come with that, which chat simply cannot do. First, it works with your files where they already live. In your folders, on your machine, no uploading, no downloading, no here's the output, now save it yourself. It opens the ledger, it writes the profit and loss, and the file is just there when it's done. Second, it works in step on its own. Open the ledger, build the statements, check the totals, notice something is off, go back and verify. That is not one question and one answer. That is an actual task, and it keeps going while you do something else. And third, it can run on a schedule. Month end close on the first working day every month without you even starting it. And that is the real reason that matters for accountants specifically. Closing a month was never a question. It is a multi-step job that ends in a file. That is exactly the shape of work chat was never actually built for. I'll give you a real one from my side. My own YouTube channel is now run this way. Every morning, something checks the numbers on every video, measures whether the changes I made actually worked, and writes it into a log it keeps updating. I do not start it, I just read what it found, and this is not a chatbot thing. That is closer to it like a junior analyst that shows up every morning before you even start your job. All right, so let's get back to the demo number 2. So let's actually not stop on this one. So now we also have another file, the general ledger for the July. Let's actually ask it to check if everything is correct in the July file, and if it's not, just ask it to let us know if there are any mistakes, because from January to June, like, months are closed. For July, it's still not closed. So there's prompt 3. So this not should be here. So yes, I have pre-created prompts separately, and I'm just copy pasting them in here, so it kind of saves me a little bit of time and I don't need to kind of type. So I will have one more prompt for you, as you can see. So sorry for this typo, this shouldn't really be there. And let's actually see how it checks if everything is correct there. And just telling you beforehand, indeed, there are mistakes in the file. So if I look at the July file, there are actually a couple of mistakes, and it's actually hard to find, because if I look at the totals actually match. So just from this number, you can't really tell, because usually nowadays in the accounting software, you can't really insert a transaction to one account and do not have like a entry in the other account. Like if you have a debit entry, you will always have a credit entry, and accounting software today will not allow this to happen. But there are actually mistakes, and let's actually see if Claude can find these mistakes, because sometimes, you know, it's just a human factor. People just can do duplicates, they can choose wrong accounts, something can happen, right? So let's see if Claude will tell us any insights on closing the months, because closing the months for each accountant is basically every month's job that they need to do, and they want to make sure all the accounts are actually closed correctly. Alright, and it seems Claude is finishing its work. As you can see, we've got the Nordbrew July file appeared in the folder. We don't need to upload or download anything. And let's actually see. Don't close July yet. There are 3 real posting errors, and all 3 are confirmed against the PDF. Okay, so loan interest is too high. It's overstated. Post interest of the Citadel schedule pays July's principal 800, interest 216, which is not correct. It's actually recalculated thing. So it's not only looking at the numbers that are in here, it's actually recalculated the interest rate for me. How crazy is that, right? So it's overstated by 12. This is pretty cool. All right, so it says the CityLock invoice was actually booked twice. So let's actually take a look. So we've got this invoice, and as you can see, it was booked on 18th of July. As you can see, there was VAT and the payment, and then there is a total trade payables, and then it basically repeats. So this is basically a human factor that some accountant made a duplicate, or there might be an assistant making this, and then there's another guy who did this again. So it found this error, which is pretty cool. And then we get the wrong VAT on sales invoice. Wow, this is also cool because actually it also recalculated this one. The ledger has net 818, VAT 261, a 32% rate, which is not correct. In fact, in Latvia here, we have got the VAT of 21%, so it's calculated should be 171. How crazy is that? Let's actually take a look if this is really the case. So I've got this invoice, and we've got this revenue, and we've got this VAT that is attributed to this invoice, which is not correct. It's not 21%. And how would you actually know this? It's actually hard to visually see. The fact that it actually recalculates it manually is crazy. And here, there is a mistake, and there is a mistake. So this is crazy. This is crazy because it found all the errors, potential errors, and that we need to change before we actually close the July month. Everything else, ties, rent, electricity, everything's good. Pretty nice. But as I mentioned, I've got one more prompt for you. And let's actually use another thing. So take the invoice folder. Those are July's incoming and outgoing documents. Build me a register, date, document number, suppliers, anything, then tell me which of them are not booked correctly in the July ledger. What I'm giving access to, there is invoice folder, and there are a couple of invoices, actually 10 invoices. If we open any of these, you can see Nordic Leasing, we've got Nordbrew Coffee, properties, rent, blah, blah, blah. So they are pretty straightforward and clear invoices. Again, so those are fake invoices for this particular demo, but I should say they really look realistic as they would look in real life. So that what I probably really receive or issue to other companies for the services. So now what I'm really looking for, so I wanted to check actually the invoices, and this is pretty cool. Look at this. If your accountant or assistant actually entered the invoices manually in the system, you can actually ask AI to check this for you. And by the way, this whole demo, I'm actually showing you how it works in Excel, just because it's just easier for me to show it this way. But the total game changer for me was when I connected AI to actually the accounting system. All right, and AI has finished. It literally finished in a couple minutes or so. So if we take a look at this one, all 10 documents are in the register. It runs a bunch of bash commands on your computer, so it can access your files. It can read all the files instantly. And as you can see, all 10 documents are in the register. Indeed, 8 incoming purchase invoices, and there are a couple others. 4 are clean, 3 are wrong, and it tells exactly which ones are wrong. So July interest rate, as it already pointed out from the actual July statement, it already found that there was a mistake. Then there is again the CityLock that appeared just once, and in the books it was twice. And again, Rigas Cafe needs the VAT that it has actually recalculated. It already found it in the July statement by manually doing it itself. But actually, if it's going to check the invoices, it can actually find that an invoice, there is indeed a different number as well. So these 3 are incomplete. We have to change it before closing the months. And this has been so much easier to actually work with the accounting right now. And I'm showing you guys right now how it actually works when you export data from your accounting system into Excel. But what I recently discovered was a real treasure when you actually connect your AI to the accounting system. So there's no more need to export something into Excel. You just literally ask it to check if all the transactions of the bank statements are actually tied to their respective documents in the accounting system, and it actually does this for you. You don't need to export it to Excel or Sheets or anywhere else. You literally just work with it within a chat, and otherwise it takes hours or sometimes days for accountant to actually close books for a month, to check everything matches, to find where the mistake's coming from. And the bigger the company is, the more sophisticated it to do so. But with AI, it just was so much easier because it can simultaneously access multiple accounts and can simultaneously check multiple endpoints. And the speed of delivery for these things are just incomparable with the real person actually working in the system. So I really suggest you guys try it for your accounting purposes. And the ideal way is actually to connect your AI to accounting software. So if you want this to be built for your business, reach out to me in the description below, because I've built this for 130 companies, and this is working just incredible. You can literally access any company data at no time. You can check how to close the months. You can tie any bank statement transactions to real documents. You can calculate what the VAT rate to pay at the end of the month, and many, many other things. It's been incredible, and I really, guys, suggest you try this on your data as well. So what's the verdict? It closed the month, it found the errors, and it did it without me actually writing a single line of code. That is the part that changed for me. Not that AI can do accounting, we all knew that. It is that the barrier in front of it is gone. But let me be straight with you about what this is not. It doesn't replace actual accounting. It doesn't know which judgment call your client would actually want. It doesn't know that this particular loan is from the parent company and should not sit in that ratio. That is still you. What it replaces is the 2 hours of mechanical work in front of the judgment call. And one thing I would ask you to take seriously, everything you saw today ran on a demo company. I built this for a video, fictional numbers and fictional suppliers. But before you point this at the real client files, understand your own data rules. That is on you and not on the tool. If you want this set up properly inside your business, this is what we do at Flow by DI. Link in the description, or just email us. Subscribe if you found this useful, like that video, and let's get started.